Thank you. Thank you very much, and welcome to Cats and Dogs here on Press TV with me, Lembit Opik, as we consider the latest developments at the location for the political equivalent of musical chairs, 10 Downing Street. So the Conservatives dump trust for Rishi Sunak to stall the fall of the British Empire and the Tories. As employment schemes go, it's brilliant. He was the UK's third Prime Minister in 7 weeks. Now, Truss did more damage in 44 dismal days than most politicians do in a lifetime. She tried to borrow billions and give it to the rich, which annoyed the poor. Then she changed her mind, and that annoyed the rich too. Interest rates rocketed so much the extra payments could pay for Boris Johnson's Downing Street flat refurbishments 1,000 times every day for literally years. I worked it out. Now, Sunak could claim, oh, forget Trussonomics, I really know how to turbocharge national borrowing. And it's true. This man converted a tricky virus into £2 trillion of national debt. Now, here's a thought. When Sunak first visited King Charles III, he maybe said, "Oh, hello, Your Royal Highness, I replaced Liz." To which King Charles maybe replied, "Oh, I replaced Liz too. What a coincidence." The big difference between the two Liz's is that the Queen spent 28,782 days in office, while Truss managed just 44. Oh, and unlike Truss, the Queen didn't actually ruin the British economy. Can Sunak afford the price hikes on energy? Of course he can. He and his wife are worth 730 million quid. That's around twice the estimated wealth of King Charles III. Which is unfair, because heating Buckingham Palace must be at least twice as pricey as Downing Street.
Oh, well, isn't jealous, just a little shocked, I suppose.
Now, the super-rich PM's main goal is now to make poor Britons repay Dizzy Lizzie's multi-billion buck blunders and all the stay-at-home COVID-19 handouts he gave out himself. What does the public think? How will he do? To find out, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Cats and Dogs, the United Kingdom's most recent Prime Minister, Mr. Rishi Sunak. Mr. Sunak, congratulations on your appointment as Prime Minister.
Actually, I was elected Prime Minister.
Elected? Who by?
By the Conservatives.
Were you? Your members didn't even have a vote.
Well, okay, yes, but the Conservative members of Parliament did.
But hold on, you were the only candidate, weren't you? And they didn't vote either.
So what?
Well, it just doesn't really seem like an election when you're the only candidate and the only people who could have voted for you were your mates in Parliament.
So do you want Truss back instead, or Boris?
Fair point. Moving on. Will you improve things for the country?
Yes, everyone will become richer under my leadership.
How will you make everyone richer?
Through austerity.
What?
Through austerity. Cuts, savings, things like that.
Right. Explain how austerity makes people richer and more able to, well, for example, heat their home.
Sure. If we all turn on the heating and lights in our second, third, or fourth homes, we can turn the heating and lights up in our first home.
What? Is that it?
Not at all. I have other plans too.
Well, what are they?
I can cut schools, hospitals, transport, housing, and social care.
Well, how are you going to get away with that?
Because people will be too busy freezing and starving to worry about all that other stuff.
And that's your whole plan, is it?
No, I also have a plan B.
Well, what's plan B?
Wait for COVID-20, and then borrow another £1 trillion from the British taxpayer.
What about Brexit?
Yes, that's good too.
But the pound became much weaker.
Yes, it means Brits are too poor to go abroad. They spend their money in the UK instead. everybody wins.
In which case, what's your main objective while in office?
To do better than the great war leader before me.
Oh, you mean Winston Churchill?
No, I mean Liz Truss.
But she didn't win a war.
No, but she started one.
Which one?
The one in the Tory party.
Mr. Prime Minister, thanks very much. Rishi Sunak there. Incidentally, already his Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, was in more hot water for apparently sending secret info from her private email to the wrong person. But let's take a look at some potential headlines from the Cats and Dogs newsroom. Prime Minister Sunak says, before you fire me, remember Boris and Liz can still reapply. Sunak's revenge plan. Hey, Boris, I'm having a party. You want to come? Sunak vetoes Rwanda immigration plan. Scotland's cheaper. Incidentally, Sunak's critics say that his tough line on immigration isn't that impressive when 1,000 people crossed the English Channel in a single day in small boats. But with all the transport strikes, that might soon be the only way to get to the UK. Maybe they were tourists or commuters. Now, elsewhere, Elon Musk finally bought Twitter in a $44 billion deal. Musk began by tweeting, "The bird is freed," firing Twitter's chief executive, chief finance officer, and chief policy officer. I'd say that's less like a free bird than an angry bird. Now, that bird is freed, why not add a dislike button and bring back Trump? Though Trump probably prefers his own network, Truth Social.
Elon wants to make Twitter great again, but it'll never be as beautiful as me or my daughter.
In 2016, free speech crusader Musk also cancelled the Tesla order from a blogger who criticised him. And in 2021, Tesla asked the Chinese to censor criticism of the company on social media. So how free is this bird? Now, Musk said he wasn't buying Twitter to make more money, but to help humanity. But might he destroy humanity instead? This hypothetical but scary question sparked much controversy in the US. In other news, in Saudi Arabia, one of the richest men in the world has been trying hard to free his kingdom's footballers from stress and anxiety.
أول شيء ألف مبروك التأهل ودائما يعني المنتخب واللعيبة والفريق القائم والوزارة والاتحاد يقومون بجهد لضمان التأهل. هذا أصبح شيء يعني لازم بالنسبة لنا كسعودية وكمنتخب سعودي. كان أعرف مجموعتنا صعبة هالسنة في كأس العالم، فما حد متوقع مننا حتى نتعادل أو نفوز. فاللي بيقولوا لكم فقط خليكم مرتاحين، العبوا لعبكم واستمتعوا في البطولة. مجموعة صعبة فيها من أقوى فرق العالم، ما هو متوقع فوز أو تعادل. اللي نبغاه منكم أنكم تلعبون لعبكم المريح اللي يؤدي، وإن شاء الله القادم أفضل. فأنا ما أبغى أي أحد يكون تحت ضغط نفسي يمكن يأثر حتى على أدائكم الطبيعي.
Now that's got to be the world's worst ever pre-match pep talk in history. See how happy they all looked in the video? Not. It's a laugh a minute. And does this also mean they weren't comfortable in previous tournaments?
Back in again, free header! The moment now he's got support. Again, the pass was a little short. Sheshev! Here's Gulliver. Great ball across!
Now, maybe that sort of go out there and lose pep talk caused those problems in 2018 when the Saudis lost 5-0 to Russia. We lost, but we enjoyed it. Does Bin Salman say the same about his US relations? No one expects us to give Biden more oil. We just say no and enjoy it. What about war? No one expects us to win or even draw with the Yemenis. So let's be comfortable, play and just enjoy the war. That's one thing they do seem to share with Truss and America. Losing with a smile. That's all for this week. Join me again next time for the latest on Tsunaconomics, who's paying for it, and if there's any way to dislike anything on Twitter.